All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am Kris. This is an audience of one, episode one. Decide to change. This episode is sponsored by YouBuyWeRush. Pretty much the whole series so far. So you can click that thumbs up button. That helps out tremendously. You can subscribe to my channel, and you can also donate to the channel through the thanks button. If you donate, request a video, your name's sponsored in that video. You don't have to. You can still request a video. It just takes a little bit longer, and you don't get that extra shout out. Okay? Let's get into part one, episode one. That's what I meant to say.
Choices you've made and how you've reacted to the situations that you've created or that you've found yourself in. There's absolutely no benefit in trying to lay blame or make excuses. You can't blame your parents, your town, your school, your teachers, the community, your friends, the traders, or the haters, or anyone else you feel has or actually has acted as an obstacle or a detractor to your success.
Right off the bat, this is a whole different vibe from the first episode. It's 10 months. So this is more what I'm used to. The intro in this, it's like two different people, which is fine. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, you watch this, and the first one seemed like a person who was really unsure, but now he's confident. I don't know. It feels different.
You need to own it, first and foremost, because it's true. Life is harder than most people make it out to be, and it gets the best of us. No one gets out unscarred, but we have to own our own choices, no matter how much they were influenced by others or our environment. Because at the end of the day, they were your choices and no one forced your hand. You need to own it secondly, because if it's somebody else's fault, it's out of your control and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. And while that might feel good while you wallow in your pity party, it's absolutely and utterly false. This is your situation and you need to own it. And while that might be hard, it's liberating in that you know now that it's correctable and you have the power to do it. The first step is to recognize where you're at, which shouldn't be too hard because it's a painful place and it reminds you of its existence every single day. Assess the situation and do so brutally. There is absolutely no room for being nice here. You don't tell the cancer patient that they have a cold. There is no need for a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. You need to be brutally honest with yourself. Analyze where you're at, where you went wrong, what mistakes you made, how you reacted poorly. Make note of your bad habits because they're most likely playing on repeat, and you'll need to be able to recognize them in the future if you hope to avoid them. This most certainly will be a painful experience because you've most likely been hiding behind the guise of, yeah, I'm not really doing that great, when the reality is that your situation has been far worse and you're near rock bottom. And to face that without any filter is going to hurt, especially if you're not going to deflect or pass blame. And although it may hurt, that pain can be used as a strong motivational factor to help change your situation. You may feel like you're too far gone, that you've done too much, that it's too late to change. Maybe you've tried to change before and you've failed, and that failure has created an even deeper sense of helplessness. You've started to feel like getting right is for somebody else. Worse yet is you've felt like you're beyond forgiveness. And if you're beyond forgiveness, what's the point of even trying? But you're not too far gone and you're not a failure. You're flawed, but you're not a failure and you are not hopeless. If you're going to turn things around, it is going to be hard. I will not sugarcoat it, but every moment that you have is an opportunity regardless of how bad it has become. So long as you have air in your chest and blood flowing through your heart, you have an opportunity to write the rest of your story. It does not end here. If nothing less, I want to know how it finishes. Write that story. Write that ending. Write the story of you overcoming the adversity of your own shortcomings. Write it as if you have no limitations on how great you can become. You have to know deep down inside that this is not who you were meant to be. And that's why it hurts so much, because you know that you were meant for so much more. And although this is who you've become, it doesn't have to be who you will remain. That pain that you feel is a blessing in disguise. You have this awful sensation inside of your heart, which comes from a sense of disgust with your situation. This results in a sense of despair because you're so exhausted and frustrated and disappointed with yourself that you just want to give up. You feel like you've dug a hole that's so deep you just can't recover from it, that there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You feel like you're stranded at sea without a life preserver and there is no land in sight. But the amazing truth is that feeling, that awful feeling of disgust with your situation, that is your life jacket. That is your savior. You think you're doomed because of what you did, what you've said, what you've heard, what you've seen, or what you didn't do, or what you didn't say. You think it can't get worse, but it can. You might be in the darkest depths of despair right now, questioning if life is even worth living because of the struggle and the pain that you feel. But there's one level that you haven't reached, and that's to not feel anything at all. You've convinced yourself that you're beyond repair because you're so distraught over your shortcomings, but just remember that there are people out there that run amok of the entire world and feel nothing at all. They're running over themselves, they're running over other people, there is absolutely no sacredness, and they don't feel a thing. That awful feeling that you have inside is just a sign that your faith, your character, your sense of responsibility is still alive within you. It may be a wavering flame in the midst of an ocean of darkness, but don't focus on the darkness that you've enveloped yourself in. Focus on the flame and fuel it. The pain that you feel, even if it's just a flicker, is a sign that flame still exists. There has to be a desire for change, and so long as there is, you are not out of the fight. Yes, it hurts to be where you're at, but that hurt, that anger, that frustration, all the emotions that you feel are a sign that your faith and your character, no matter how far down under your mishaps you've buried them, are still there. Because if they weren't, you wouldn't care, you wouldn't feel anything at all, and you'd be fine with your situation. So while it hurts to be where you're at, that feeling is just the alarm going off, trying to wake you up from your sleeping state. And it's about time you stop hitting that snooze button of take care of it later, take care of it tomorrow or next week or next month, or after another round of whatever mishaps and mistakes that you've made companions of. You have, just like many others, fallen into the trap of if only I'd never fallen off, or if only I'd started to make changes 2 years ago or last month. And you know what? You're absolutely right. It would have been better had you fixed things all the way back then. The best time to do it would have been then. But guess what? The next best time is right now. Stop trying to rewrite history. Start writing your future. And that starts with taking your first step. Oftentimes we think that we have to fix everything overnight. And although a dramatic turnaround would make for a great story, and it makes us feel good to think about the possibility of doing so, the reality is that this is going to be a slow and difficult process that you're going to have to embrace. Building something always takes longer than breaking something down, and you have been breaking yourself down for a long time. If you are at a certain level before, it's going to take a long time to get back to that state. But luckily for you, we're not trying to get you back to who you once were or some state that you were once in. We're trying to get you to become who you were meant to be, and that is something far greater. Don't fall for that trap that you have to get back to a certain state that you were once in. First of all, if it was such a great state, how did you fall to where you are now? One of the worst things that we can do is have this sense or feeling that we've arrived, because once you do that, you let your guard down, and obviously you did. So get rid of that idea that you want to go back to that place or that state. We don't want to go back. We want to move forward. You just need to start, and we're not starting over, we're starting from experience, and that's going to be our armor, so just start. And the first step is to recognize that we have a problem, which shouldn't be that difficult because you're in the middle of it, staring it in the mirror every single day. Own it. Take responsibility for it. Take the blame. Gather up all the anger, the resentment, the frustration, the embarrassment, the loneliness, and use it as fuel. Because the next step is to take that overwhelming sense of emotion and to turn that into a burning desire to change, and to change now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not after one more of this or one more of that, but today. That being said, you are not going to fix it all in one day. It is going to be a journey. And if you do it correctly, it's going to be a lifelong one. You will make mistakes. You will make repeated mistakes. Success is not linear. And success is not a destination. There is only progress. And progress is only attained through commitment to the process. And that process is a commitment to the refinement of your character and the development of a spiritual foundation that is going to allow you to continue to move forward to become the person who you were meant to be. And the quickest way towards that is to take your first step, and it is not as far away as you imagine it to be. That first step is committing in your heart that you very may well be where you're at, but it is not where you are going to stay. And that your story has more to tell. And the writing of the rest of that story starts today.
That is by far one of the best episodes he's ever done in anything. Like, that was motivation. It makes me want to throw this puppy out the window. Come on, let's go. You want to go throw? You want to be thrown out the window? Come on. I'm gonna throw you out the window. What are you doing? No, come here. I'm gonna throw you. I just got so inspired to toss you out the window. Yes, come here. Would you come here? All right, Jackson, wave goodbye, because I'm going to chuck you out the window now. I just got inspired to do it. No, stop wagging your tail. All right? All right. You're really ruining my inspiration for throwing you out the window. Okay. I'm not going to do it then. I want to. But, hey, I got an idea. When I lick your face, you can lick mine. Now what are you going to do? Yeah. Now what are you going to do? Huh? You shall not win this fight. Right there. Nope. Nope. You're a baby. All right. All right. No throwing you out the window. You bit me. You bit me. Ow. Charlie, you bit me. You bit me. Charlie. Okay. No. 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 Don't throw the paw at me. No. I'm trying to end the video. I just spared your life. I don't know why you're trying to bite me. Maybe I will throw him out the window. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but your claws, they hurt. Okay, you biting my knee now? You're stupid. All right, okay, I take it back. Okay, the claws. I got an idea. When I bite you, you can bite me. I don't like being back talked by a dog. I'm going to end the video now. I'm not going to throw him out the window. I'm just going to throw him against the wall right near the window, and then everything will be fine. So until next time, have a good day, have a good night.